Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to round number 13 of the NORL F1 2018 Championship. We are here for Spa-Francorchamps, and it is qualifying, one-shot qualifying, a long lap for these guys around the Belgian forest in the Ardennes. And these guys will be running very different setups. A few guys trying out low downforce setups, a few people going for medium or balanced. And the idea is you want a lot of top speed for this Kemmel straight going into this chicane here. But this is where you start to struggle. If you don't have the downforce, you can see it's more like Anotanovic, who probably is running quite a lot of downforce, gains a lot through that sector and bumps himself up into second, and you can just see the difference. And you can see that Charles is probably running a low downforce setup to go for that top end speed, but he is struggling in the corners as a result. And then we're just going to see if we can have a nosy at what, if anybody is going for some different tyres. So you can see the top six all on the super soft tyres, and then you have some other people trying out the softs, and then you have Kevin Jacobs and Murchie Lagers on the hypers. Sorry, the hypers, the mediums. They wish you were on hypers. Hello, Macca. Welcome along again, buddy. Hope you're here to enjoy some lovely NORL action once again on this lovely, lovely Sunday. And it is Chazza then that's coming around into the bus stop. No sign of Nibbler, which will be another strategic blow in the championship. All but putting Chazza en route to claim a championship just a year after he was beaten by KB Killers. And he comes up to the line now to take pole position at Spa for round number 12, and it's by a long way too. Almost a full second ahead of anybody else on pole from Chazza. Pure domination expected from Ferrari here today. Chazza puts on an absolute flyer. So that will be him comfortably on pole. Good shout out for Anotanovic. That's probably his best qualifying position of the season up in P2. Great effort by him. And we'll have to see once things load up just about where everyone else. Then Testameister will line up in P3. Next, Subaru Ryan. Danny Ibn Lahar will line up P5. Then Ragnar. Then Defstez, who is behind Ragnar, who's on the soft tyres. Dougie Aframan on the softs on 8th. Then the other Sauber of Glatzel 2 will line up 9th. And then it's Nemesis Racing, Kevin Jacobs, and Murchie Lager bringing up the rear of the grid for today's qualifying session and for the race. Almost 5 seconds off the pace by Murchie Lager and Kevin Jacobs. And you can see the medium tyres are just so much slower that it's going to make things very difficult for these boys. So they'll be wanting to go to their absolute utmost. But it will give them a very long first stint, and they'll hope to maximise that, because if something like a safety car comes into play or some rain, I'm not sure if anyone can see that a Red Bull and a Ferrari just mounted each other on the left-hand corner of your screen there. That was pretty interesting. But we're just loading in and waiting for the guys to get put on the grid and load in. So we will be with you and getting ready for round number 13 of the championship. And like we say, with no Nibbler here today, it's going to be another heavy blow in Chaz's favour. And could this be, at midpoint in the season, could this be where it starts going in Chaz's favour, where Chazza starts to win the title? With all these point losses from Nibbler, we'll have a very long out lap to get to the grid. Lord Jord is in the chat, not on the grid, in the chat, saying he's watching from the side today. So he will have to just sit back and watch, much like the Red Bull and Toro Rosso of Ragnar and Subaru Ryan, as they've been disqualified from the out lap, which means they will not be able to warm their tyres. They'll just have to sit and wait. So very good qualifying from this man on the super soft tyres. He usually goes for the alternate strategy, Anotanovic, but today he's going with the supers, and he's going to see if he can try and challenge the man who out-qualified him by almost a second. As we come into the chicane, Testameister will likely get involved as well, as he always does. Danny Ibn Lahar will follow them, and then it's the Force India of Defstez, riding solo again today. No teammate, but there's the team in formation of Sauber. And then behind them is the two Hasses, both going for a longer first stint. And then Murchie Lager brings up the rear of the grid in that Red Bull, almost hitting Kevin Jacobs on the outlet there. And these boys will have to see if they can challenge the Ferrari today, or will it just be a walk in the park from Chazza? Chazza now starting to slow down and back the field up a bit because everyone is very spread out. And the more spread out that they are, the more he will just sit on the grid with his tyres getting colder and colder. So he'll need to back the grid up. So, as in terms of strategy, I believe it was Murcielago qualified on the mediums as well. Qualified slower than Kevin Jacobs, and he's opted to switch to the soft tyres. So clearly no confidence in the Red Bull on the mediums. So he's alternated his strategy to go back onto the softs, as you can choose whichever tyre you want to start on. You are allowed to do it as long as you qualify outside the top 10. Murcielago does get disqualified from the session and will now just be transported to the grid. And his tyre warming phase is over. So the race leader hasn't done the best job of backing the field up, but he's done a decent one, so hopefully that will minimise the loss of tyre heat that he would be expecting as the grid lines up to go racing for round number 13 here at Spa. That's a nice picture. You're welcome, Chazza. That'd have been a very nice picture. Okay, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is 5 red lights. And away we go. Here we go then. Chazza gets the better start out of anyone, predictably. Leads into turn 1 by quite some margin. But going up the inside, potentially is Testameister. And what a move from Subaru Ryan. Down the inside of everybody, up into P3. Fantastic move from the Brit in the Red Bull. Moves himself up into the podium places. But now the Renault coming back at him of Danny in Lahar is looking to try and go around the outside. Not been doing. I'll get away with that one. But now Dougie Aframan's in the way. And oh, no. Anel Tanovic is out. And I think he just had a pretty severe accident. I think there was just a huge accident. Car's going slowly. Are we under virtual safety car conditions? Anel Tanovic, I think, we didn't see it, but I think he's had a huge accident after his best qualifying. I think he's crashed. What is going on? Because Chazza's slowing down, everyone's bunching up. I'm not sure what's happened. Anel Tanovic is out after presumably a crash at Eau Rouge, and he leaves the session. Subaru Ryan goes wider than I've ever seen, almost off to the Netherlands. I'm not sure what's going on. But I think we're back up to racing speed, but it is Chazza that leads the way. Anel Tanovic gets his best qualifying of the season and immediately crashes at the end of Sector 1. So, bad day in the office for Anel is an understatement. The man with a plan is out before we even get going. That was a Sauber going very, very wide, almost touching the gravel. I think he did touch the gravel a bit. Just looking for the closest gaps on circuit after that crazy start. Testameister closing in on his teammate, looking to make the move. These two have got to be careful they don't fight too hard. They are teammates, so they don't want to take each other out. The golden rule, never hit your teammate. By the way, the Haas is really pressuring the Toro Rosso of Ragnar coming up in towards turn 1. Anything from Nemesis Racing into turn 1, that's a late send from the Italian, and he goes so wide that he almost completely took out, and now his teammate will see him use all the exit run. That's like playing grid back in the day. You used to get a better exit from doing that. But now, Galactic Score 2 is gaining on Kevin Jacobs through Eau Rouge. Nowhere to go with it, though. Keeps his foot in. Power to the Sauber, trying to go around the outside of the Haas, and he'll now be able to use the slipstream of the sister Haas to try pull him along, but it looks like Kevin Jacobs is running the lower downforce setting. He tries to go around the outside. Can the Sauber make it? No, he can't. Has to back out of it to get away with no contact. Good racing between these two. So we look around further on the grid. What is going on as we look around? Subaru Ryan going very wide out of the corner with no name, being chased down by Danny. Galactic Skull 2 still trying to get past Kevin Jacobs. Galactic Skull 2 is on a softer compound of tyre, so he will have more grip to play around with. But he's got to do something soon if he wants to get past his teammates up in 5th. Not been the best start for the Scotsman. Testameister. Oh, and that's because Danny's off. Was there contact? They're all past him now. Danny's all the way down, and he's struggling to get the car turned around. Big accident for what? That's a very strange corner to have a spin at. Not sure what happened then. Unfortunately, no replay system in the game that we could use to have a look there. But meanwhile, Ragnar is going at it with Defstez. Force India versus Toro Rosso into the bus stop. And it is Ragnar that's come out on top. What a move around the outside of the American from the Italian. Good move. But now Defstez surely will have DRS getting ready to go down to Eau Rouge. So he just needs to set himself for a good exit. Get a good run, utilize all the slipstream, use a little bit of battery power, but it's Ragnar that gets the better exit, and that might just save his bacon from the bright pink Panther. Galactic Skull 2's moving in on Kevin Jacobs once again, and we'll look to try go around. Oh, he's losing the back end, he's in a tank stopper. Ooh, almost a big crash, and I think that's what happened to Anil. Almost lost a Scotsman out of the race there. Meanwhile, Subaru Ryan's benefiting from this. Not Subaru Ryan, sorry. The Red Bull and Murcielago, his teammates, going to try and benefit from this. Now going for the undercut. Nowhere to go through this chicane. He's got to hold back. Just play his cards to his chest and wait for an opportunity to arise. Through the chicane, nothing doing. Down into the off-cambered hairpin. Galactic Skull 2 struggling for grip in that Sauber. And it is Subaru Ryan pressuring. I keep saying Subaru Ryan. It's not Subaru Ryan. It is Murcielago pressuring Galactic Skull 2. Both of these guys on the soft compound of tyre, running exactly the same tyres. Only difference being is Galactic Skull 2 did qualify in the top 10, so he would have had to use those soft tyres that have already done the qualifying lap. So Galactic Skull 2's tyres will be about a lap older than Murcielago, but if Murcielago keeps treating his tyres like that, it's not going to pay him dividends. Meanwhile, Nemesis Racing has now caught the back of Defstez. A terrible lap for Defstez. Sees him lose not only one place, but it's now going to be two. Nemesis Racing up the inside for the bus stop chicane. Is he going to be able to hold it on the outside? Defstez, no. Loses another position to another Italian. All going downhill for the American in the Force India. And does lose out. Drops down to P7. Big lock up into turn one as well, won't help his case. Not a great start. So, Dougie Afroman is gaining on Testomeister for the battle for third. Dougie, however, has not looked after his battery very well. Does need to do some battery saving. It's brought him right up to the back of Testomeister, but doesn't really have much battery left. Testomeister struggling an awful lot, sliding and slooving across the circuit. Oh, contact! Dougie Afroman did just hit the back of him, and I think he lost a bit of front wing. That's not going to help his case, and he goes astronomically wide, hits the gravel and the wall on the outside. It's a bit of a bottle from the Scotsman. He's now got so much understeer, he's going to lose this position really easily to Ragnar. Is there anything he could do? He went from battling from the podium to probably going to have to make an extra pit stop here. He's got so much understeer. And all because he broke too late, or Testomeister broke too early, but he's losing time hand over fist, and surely he'll have to pit. And that's kind of ruined his afternoon. Meanwhile, Kevin Jacobs is now caught. A compatriot of Defstez moves past him like Defstez isn't even there. Oh, Galactic Skull 2 across the gravel, almost straight into the wall. That would have been very bad for the Sauber. So close to DNFing there. So we go for Blanchimont. Is there going to be anything in the battle of the Americans ahead? Did Dougie Afroman pit? Yes, he did. As I suspected, he might have to. Defstez is going into the pits as well. Releases Galactic Skull 2 to continue chasing down Kevin Jacobs. We have our first two into the pits. And it'll be a front wing change from Dougie Afroman, so he might lose some time to Defstez here. Did Defstez have damage? Is there a new front wing ready? So no damage for Defstez. Goes on to the medium compound of tyre, as does Dougie Afroman, but with a front wing change to boot. So he's going to lose that position to Defstez in the pits. And he'll need some kind of comeback to come back from this one. But meanwhile, Danny Ibn Lahar not even in the bus stop yet, so it could be worse for these guys. So the hunt resumes for the Scotsman. Still trying his best to hunt down Kevin Jacobs, who's doing an impressive job on the harder compound of tyres. Shazza has walked away into the distance of about 5 seconds, as we thought he would. struggling to keep the rear end in check, I think, for Tactical 2. Maybe a bit of a setup issue. The car does not look very fun to drive at all for the Sauber. So breaking through the chicane. The lovely S-bends through here. Ooh, but not lovely for the Sauber, clearly. Does not like the curbs. Almost loses it. Very unpredictable to drive, I think, this Sauber at the moment. As you can just see riding on board there, it looked absolutely awful to drive. Just did not want to do what Galactic Skull told it to do. Meanwhile, Subaru Ryan comes into the pits. So the Super Soft guys starting to run out of grip. Meanwhile, look at this from Murcielago. That's from an awful long way back. If he could clean drive around the outside, what a move from Murcielago. Galactic Skull 2 opts to pit. But regardless, fantastic move by the Red Bull. That was from so far back. Awesome driving from the Red Bull as his teammate leaves the pits. Looks like a majority one-stop strategy at play here today. So into the pits comes Galactic Skull 2. Off comes the old tyres, on goes the new. Stay release, release, release. And the American of Death Stairs does undercut Galactic Skull 2 then, and Dougie Aframan will come on to challenge his teammate. And they both got similar battery levels here, so this is mano a mano. How hard will the teammates duke it out? They don't want to lose grip over the top of Radion, because they could lose a rear end just like Anel Tanovic did. And DNF, DRS for the teammate. And how hard are these two going to go toe-to-toe? Both same tyres, both same strategy. Up the inside, and that's a locker from Death Stairs. I thought he went on to strike. He's not. He's made it. And Dougie Aframan makes it up into P9 and demotes his teammate, who goes on the gravel for good measure for the swap of P9. Now, everyone apart from Chazza and Testa has got off the supers. Galactic Skull 2 really struggling for grip in this Sauber. So pushing on is Dougie Aframan. Meanwhile, Testameister opts to pit. Driving down into the pit box. Getting off the supers. Now, how long will Chazza stay out? The last remaining super soft driver. Renner get them supers off and get back out onto the circuit. We'll drop him down to around P7. How effective is the undercut here at Spa? Looks like it's pretty effective. Testa drops all the way to P7. Actually hits the pit wall. That's going to cost him a bit of time. And almost crosses the white line. Doesn't even turn his pit limit on. That's a very sloppy job from Testameister in terms of the exit of that pit. And so the Sauber's still duking it out, trying to pull each other along this little train, the Phillip train. Going through Eau Rouge now. Oh, Dougie losing the rear end a little bit, but he is gaining on Death Stairs. He should have some DRS as well to boot. So this could be interesting. Force India versus Sauber. No DRS for Dougie Aframan. It's going to have to be done from pure pace alone. And what a run he gets. Going to go down the inside. Death Stairs holds it on the outside. Good defense from the Pink Panther. Doesn't get overtaken just yet. But the two Saibers hunting in packs, trying to take down Death Stairs for P8. Dougie Aframan is on a former comeback after hitting Testameister, what could have been. But there's still a few laps left. We could have a safety car or anything, yep. You never know. The race is never over till it's over. Now Chazza pits. And assuming that Ragnar will not, Ragnar will take the race lead. Now Galactic Skull 2 chasing down his teammate. There is Chazza getting on some new softs himself. Is Chazza going to maintain the lead? I don't think he will. But he might come out battling with this man for second. It might be a bit close. Here we go. Where's Nemesis? There he is. Nemesis battling for Chazza. Goes straight for the slipstream. Gonna have to go around the outside and try and make the move around the outside of Eau Rouge. This will be a brilliant maneuver from Nemesis Racing, and he does take the move. Good move by Nemesis. Puts him ahead, although he hasn't stopped. So Chazza will just get him back on pit stops anyway, but I think Chazza's going to come back at him alone, getting the DRS, not following Nemesis. Nemesis pulls to the inside. Now you'd like to think that's for defensive purposes, or is he just letting the Ferrari through? Not letting him through without a fight. Tries to make Chazza work for it. Can he send it back up the inside? Yes, he can. Some fight left from the Italian. Almost contact between the two. Chazza gets the move done. Good move. Good driving from the both of them. Many other drivers would have taken each other out in that scenario, but Chazza makes it through up into P2. Good driving, and then just to undo all the work that I've just applauded him for, Nemesis has a very bizarre spin. Not sure I've ever seen a spin there before. And now struggles to get back on the circuit. I've never seen a spin in that corner before, so that's very strange. I'm not sure what happened. And Nemesis gets it all kinds of wrong. Meanwhile, Saubers are duking it out into the corner with no name. Oh, Galactical 2 hits the wall. Don't want to be doing that. So through P1 we come. Galactical 2 chases down his teammate. Maka says in the chat that everyone is spinning today. That's very true, and I think the reason for it is Spa is a very fast circuit. It has a lot of straight lines, and most of them, ooh, big save from Galactical 2. A lot of the lines, like this one, flat out. Dougie's on the grass. What's he doing? But yeah, there's a lot of places where you could just hold down the throttle and go for gold. Meanwhile, Destes makes the move on Nemesis Racing. Good move. Now, Nemesis does have to pick, because he doesn't have... He's missing half his front wing, and... Not good. Not good day in the office for Haas at all. But... So a lot of people run low downforce, which means they have less cornering ability, but they have a lot of top-line speed, just like Subaru Ryan. Look at this. It's like a rocket ship. Can't quite go down the inside of Kevin Jacobs, but what a run he got. Closed in on him like Kevin Jacobs was an LMP2. We just saw Nemesis Racing get overtaken by Danny Ibn Lahan. That's because he's still in the pits. Okay, no problem. Meanwhile, the Saubers will go to war once again, I'm sure. Gaining. Dougie Afroman does go defensive. Anything that Galactical 2 could do about it? No. Just hangs back. A little bit more respect shown between teammates. But the guys do run lower downforce to get the high top speed, but that comes at the price of having a very hard car to drive in the corners. And that's why you're seeing so many people spin today, thinking they have more grip than they really do. Now, Subaru Ryan is gaining on Kevin Jacobs, and he'll have to do something about it coming through Blanchimont into the box stop chicane. So in the slipstream, nowhere to go a bit, wisely hangs back, and then we'll be able to set up a move for around the outside of the bus stop. This will be a good move from him if he can pull it off, because he's got to hold it. And then, oh no, he just brakes so late. And it's very easy for Kevin to just drive around him. That was a bit messy from Subaru Ryan. Ragnar, meanwhile, into the pit lane for some medium compound tyres. Mac had asked in the chat, so what setup would you say is best setup-wise would be here? Now, I believe it depends on your driving style, but for me, I think reduced downforce. It's not quite minimum downforce. I'd say it's reduced. You want to scrub some off, because you have this run all the way from turn 1, all the way through this corner, like Testomeister is now, and then all the way down this next straight, which is just completely full throttle. So having a good top-line speed here, very beneficial. But then immediately you get to a corner that requires a lot of downforce to take it at a very high speed. And as we see with Testomeister, it doesn't take it that fast. But he still gets a reasonably good, a very good run actually through there. Great driving by Testomeister through that chicane there to bring him into the fight with Ragnar, who is gaining on massively. For me, it would be reduced downforce, but it does. I think every driver has a different driving style, which Subaru Ryan picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, which will be corner cutting and track extending. Sauber's still chasing. Oh, wow, that could have been so... Yeah, no, that's what happens when you have sometimes your car drives like that when you have little downforce. So, Galactic Skull 2 really having a bad time. Really having a bad time. But a setup always has to match your driving style. Meanwhile, Subaru Ryan still trying to find a way past Kevin Jacobs, who is yet to pit. Subaru having to work for this second place. DRS open then. Along he will come again, and hopefully we'll be able to get the move into turn one. Kevin covers the inside, so Subaru's going to have to go around the outside, but he's going to hold back, go for the old switcheroo, which will get him the better run, which will get him an awesome launch out of turn one, and we'll be able to pull him along as he tries to get the slipstream, and you can see the difference here. Kevin Jacobs is definitely running a lower downforce setup, because you can see, look at the speed he gets in the straight line compared to Subaru Ryan. Subaru can gain on him in the corners, but then really struggles to catch him in these straight lines. Meanwhile, it's a different story for Testomeister and Ragnar as they're going side by side with Murcielago just behind them, who's going to be getting in a double slipstream. Tester's going to try to go around the outside, but how hard will Ragnar fight it? Will he be able to go down the inside? No. The position is lost to the Renault for now. Can the Red Bull get involved at all through the chicane? No, he can't, but Tester goes a little bit wide, and that brings Ragnar back into it, who's going to go back down the inside and try to take P4 away from Testomeister again. He's still there. Contact between the two Italians. Tester holds on. Good driving. Could have very easily run into the back of him there as well, so Ragnar's still fighting for dear life. He does get the better run. Can he go down the inside of Tester? No, he can't. Holds back for now, and we'll just follow him through Blanchimont. There is a Red Bull involved as well, so these two... Oh, Testomeister off in a big way. Lost a chunk of his front wing. Testomeister drops down to P6. That's not gone well for the Italian, and we'll likely have to pit again. So here we go, round 3 between Subaru Ryan and... Oh, he's going to have to go to the inside of Blanchimont. That's going to be very brave. Wow, got so close, and the fact that they didn't take each other out is absolutely phenomenal driving by the two of them. Now, Subaru Ryan's going to get the better run here. He has the better racing line. That should give him a better launch, which it does, and he can just try to drive around the outside of Kevin Jacobs going into turn 1. Did a bit of DRS to help him as well. Going to try hold it on the outside. Anything doing? No, he's going to go for that switchback attempt once again, which gives him the better run, which is what he aims for, to get the better run down this straight. Has to use all of his slipstream all the way up into Eau Rouge, stay in the slipstream through Eau Rouge, and he might just be enough to hold on with some DRS to pass him. But Kevin Jacobs is running a lot less downforce, and it's really making it hard for the Red Bull to pass him in a straight line. Now he's gaining, and the minute he pulls out the slipstream, he starts to lose that speed again, but he's got to go around the outside if he wants to do it. That's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough, and Kevin Jacobs holds on once again. Great driving by the American, not letting Ryan through without a fight, and Testomeister pits for a second time. Obviously did pick up significant damage, and that is Galactic Skull 2 without a front wing, so he's had a nightmare somewhere as well. He'll have to pit and get that fixed. And I just saw debris in that corner. Now, is that from Kevin Jacobs or Subaru Ryan, I wonder? I don't think it is. The cars look like they're handling too well to be theirs, so the closest battle is still Subaru Ryan versus Kevin Jacobs. And it's only a matter of time before Kevin Jacobs pits. Kevin Jacobs can get to around lap 17, then he will be able to just go on to the super softs to the end of the race, which I think is what he's trying to do. The Subaru Ryan really struggling to pass him, and this is a key thing here for Maka in the chat, who was discussing the difference between high and low downforce setups. This is the problem it creates. Ryan is so much faster than Kevin Jacobs through the corners, but when it gets to the straights and he has the overtaking opportunity, he can't really do anything about it because the Haas is just too fast in a straight line. So as we'll go again, this time a very good run from Subaru Ryan, but he has to stay in the slipstream to stay in contention. We'll have to follow him up through Eau Rouge. Now Kevin Jacobs will wobble a bit at the top of Eau Rouge. He's been doing that every lap because he doesn't have the grip. Starting to lose the grip a little bit. Destes does pit. Now DRS for Subaru Ryan, using all of his battery to just come like a rocket ship and not even give Kevin Jacobs a chance to defend. But Kevin will try it anyway, trying his might to hold on to that P2. Lets it go to Subaru Ryan. The Red Bull finally makes it through, but the Red Bull had to wait for so long to set that up. and now has to run away in the corners before Kevin has a chance to get him back on the straight, because Kevin is faster in the straight, but you can just see how much they're both struggling. These medium tyres don't have a lot of grip whatsoever. And the struggle for Kevin Jacobs to hold on, but he's doing a good job. Almost twice. These tyres on Kevin's car have almost done twice the laps that Subarus have. So phenomenal driving from Kevin Jacobs. Phenomenal tyre management. Oh, and they both go off into the gravel. But that's ended up helping Subaru Ryan. Now they both have similar battery levels. So this is all difference in setup that you're going to see through here. And the gap's about 9/10 of a second. Is it coming down? It's actually going up in favour of Ryan. Oh, but Ryan locks up into the bus stop. He didn't want to be doing that too much because he's just got past Kevin. The last thing he needs is for Kevin to just come on back. Kevin doesn't have DRS. He's outside of 1 second. So Subaru's got to do it. He's got to catch Subaru the hard way if he wants to. Don't think he's going to be able to. I think this battle's all but put to bed. All right, driving. And these guys up to get this battle this far without any accidents. Subaru Ryan does have a 3-second time penalty, to remember, for corner cutting. So Kevin can just try to hold on and stay within 3 seconds, albeit Kevin is yet to pit. Or did Kevin pit? Because it's showing that Kevin is yet to pit. He's the only one on the grid to do so, so my guess, Kevin will come out P6 when he does pit. Based on where he is on track and how long a pit stop takes. He'll come out in about 6th place. Meanwhile, Testermeister is closing down his teammate once again. And a day of mistakes for Renner. Danny's trying to close in on Murcielago. Tester's trying to close in on Danny. So, 8 laps to go in this Belgian Grand Prix. Testermeister hits the wall in the background. So, what an interesting section of the race. Testermeister is gaining on Danny significantly. Usually Danny is very much ahead of Testermeister, but I feel like Danny's struggling a little bit here today. He's bringing his teammate more and more into play. DRS then for Testermeister. Begins the assault on his teammate. Danny was just out of DRS for Murcielago, so he needs to get a good run to get some DRS on Murcielago to defend himself from his teammate. Up through Eau Rouge we go. Now, DRS wars begin, and this time it's Danny who's closer to Murcielago than Testo is to Danny, so Murcielago goes defensive, very late braking from Danny. Tried to get alongside, couldn't quite do it. Danny on very old mediums now, though. Won't have a lot of grit to fight with, but we've seen Kevin Jacobs do it. Tester pressuring his teammate off the road. Wants to go up the inside of Pouon, but doesn't quite have the speed. So can he go around the outside of Pouon? That'd be an amazing move. He can pull that off. What a move this could be for Testermeister. Oh, not quite. Goes on the grass. Willa lightly picked up a corner cutting warning for doing that as well. Still struggling to find a way past his teammate. 6 laps to go. Kevin Jacobs yet to pit still. That time Danny just let his teammate through. Didn't want to risk his own race. Now Tester is released to hunt down Murcielago. Glad to score 2 DNFs from the session. I can't see him, so that could well have been a crash. Danny pits them for his second stop of the afternoon. You'll almost certainly be passed by Defstez. Now, it might be close with Nemesis Racing. 2 Italians might come out very close to each other here. Ooh, it might be dead on equal. Here comes Nemesis around the final corner, and there's Danny just ahead, so it was close. That's the first person Nemesis has seen in a while after his accident. Gets a much better run through Eau Rouge. Does he get DRS to boot? Yes, he does. Here he comes. Good move. So much of a speed difference that, wow, they both tried to outbrake each other. Both went off the road in doing so. Nemesis gets the job done in a very demanding ask. Good job. If people are posting in the chat, I do apologise. I can't see the messages. They're not loading, so I'm going to try refresh. No new messages, unfortunately. So I do apologise. I think the YouTube chat system is broken. Nevertheless, I hope you're enjoying it. Murcielago has been passed by Testermeister. If he'll be able to get him back or not, though, that's anybody's guess. Through turn 1. Ooh, that might help him though. Tester goes very wide. So that should give the Red Bull the better exit, you'd like to think. Pedal to the metal. Very bizarre case of the console overheating and force shutting itself down. So I can only apologise to you guys and to NORL for that. But hopefully that should be it until the end now. Now the order is Chazza leading from Subaru, Ryan in P2, Ragnar's in P3 as well. I was virtual safety car deployed because Nemesis has had a crash, as has Danny Ibn Lahar. If these guys need to pit, then they need to do it now. Now, this is an absolutely perfect opportunity. If these guys are going to pit, they should pit now, definitely. Ragnar picks a drive-through penalty up. So just to confirm that Ragnar has picked up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. So that is very detrimental. And it could put him under pressure because that's going to be a big time penalty if he doesn't serve that. Of course, he can't serve that under the safety car. So anyone that's hunting down Ragnar is going to be in a very good place here. So the lights go green again and we are racing once again. And Kevin Jacobs is on brand new Supersofts, as is Defstez. So those guys are going to be very quick. But Ragnar has a drive-through penalty that he needs to serve within 2 laps. So that could bring somebody else into play to take over the spot from Ragnar. Now, this could put Kevin Jacobs on the podium. It could, potentially, Dougie Afroman could battle with Ragnar for the final place. Now, Dougie is on very old tyres, so it is going to be tough. But it is possible. Of course, he's got a drive-through penalty that he needs to serve. So he'll be pushing with absolute everything. 1.9 seconds is the gap between Murcielago, as we have the timing system glitching out a little bit on the left-hand side there. I do apologise, I'm not sure what's happening there. So Chazza leads from Subaru Ryan. Ragnar is there, but needs to get that drive-through penalty served. Now Murcielago is gaining on Testermeister quite quickly, so these two might battle soon. So Murcielago on 8-lap-old mediums, Testermeister's on 8-lap-old softs. So these guys are going to be battling all the way to the finish. Hello, Maka. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. The PS4 overheated and shut down, so I kind of had to reboot. But I did manage to jump in the Discord with some of the drivers while it was rebooting, and they think that Jeff is telling them that rain might be on the way in the final lap. I'm not seeing it. I'd like to think it'd be raining by now if there was going to be any rain. But very interesting to know that it's in the air at least. Now, looking around, all the battles look like they're pretty much done, but this man is not serving. So Ragnar's going to go ahead and take the time penalty. I'm not sure how much of a time penalty he will get. I'd like to think it's going to be a big time penalty for not serving that drive through. So Kevin Jacobs, I'd say, probably could get within 20 seconds of Ragnar here and might be able to take the podium away from him. But Ragnar does have a drive-through penalty. Yet to serve it, though, unless he's going to serve it at the end of this lap and do like a Michael Schumacher-esque tactic of serving it as late as possible. Oh, he's gone wide. Ragnar's off the circuit as well. Ragnar really struggling on these tyres, and he's still got to serve that penalty at some point. So Ragnar, very vulnerable in the closing stages of this race, could be about to lose this podium as the timing's glitching out once again. I'm really not sure what's going on there. Ragnar on the absolute limit of these 11-lap-old mediums. He's pushed them a bit too hard. He's understeering all over the circuit. Look, he drives clear off the circuit at Poo on again. Ragnar's in a very tough spot. He is actually gaining on Ryan, though. So Ryan's going even slower than Ragnar at the moment. And very interesting. When is Ragnar going to pit? When is Ragnar going to serve this drive-through penalty? He's got to do it soon. He has got to do it soon. And he's either got to do it this lap or he's going to take the time penalty. He wants to go after Subaru Ryan, but he can't because he picked up a penalty for speeding under the safety car. Such a silly mistake. But it is a mistake that's going to pay dividends. Kevin really needs to put his foot down here and try catch the two. Ragnar's in then. Ragnar serves his drive-through penalty on lap 20, the beginning of lap 22. And I think Ragnar just picked up damage. I'm reviewing that on my screen now. Ragnar might have picked up damage. He hit the pit wall on the entry and a little bit of carbon fiber came off. So Ragnar might be exiting the pits with damage here. This could make the last lap very interesting for the Italian. He leaves the pit now. And away he goes as Kevin Jacobs sets the fastest lap of the race. Did Ragnar pick up that damage? Ragnar might be safe. He's got an 8-second buffer to Kevin Jacobs, but it all depends on if he picked up that damage or not. Was it just a visual glitch? We'll find out when we come into the chicane. Kevin's pushing as hard as he dare. Got the gap down to 6.5. Good effort. Anything? Let's find out. It's not the quickest, but it doesn't look that bad. Timing glitching out is really not helping us gauge what's going on here. It doesn't look that bad. It looks slow, but it doesn't look that bad. Don't think he did pick up damage. I think it was just a visual glitch that we've learned to love so well from Codemasters. You can just see Kevin in the background. Don't think he's going to do anything today. Meanwhile, Chazza takes another victory in the NORL F1 2013 series. Dominant display from Ferrari here today. Takes a win by over 30 seconds ahead of Subaru Ryan. Dominant performance. Subaru Ryan will come home and I think take his first podium of the season. Fantastic drive from the Red Bull driver. Great effort. Car smoking a little bit. So his engine was on the limit. But Ragnar looks like he's going to hold on to take another podium this season. Subaru Ryan comes out the final corner now. Weaves, very happy with that performance. P2 for Subaru Ryan. And Ragnar will hold on to take P3. Almost threw it all away. Up to the line for Ragnar. To secure that third place. Kevin Jacobs couldn't quite get him. He'll have to settle. And is that rain I'm seeing on the circuit in the final corners? It is starting to rain. That couldn't have come a lap earlier, could it? Dougie Aframan will come on to take P5, P6 for Testa Meister, P7 for Murcielago, and it's going to be Destes who is going to be the last of the finishers in P8. And it is raining, so Destes will do well just to take it a little bit easy through here, because it's going to get slippery, and it'd be heartbreaking to DNF this close to the end. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Chaza dominates again, and it's been the story of either the two Ferraris do battle or one of them dominates. That's been the story this entire season, but Chaza takes another chunk in the title fight, and it looks like it's going to be very much the beginning of a Chaza reign to this season, unless Nibbler can put more appearances in and stop him, because it doesn't look like anyone else on the grid is going to be able to stop him. The Red Boys win again. Great effort for Subaru Ryan. First podium of the season. Congratulations. Ragnar picks up another podium despite being penalised for speeding under the safety car. Thought it was an opportunity for Kevin Jacobs there for the podium. There was not. Unfortunately, the gap was too big. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan didn't serve that penalty, so Ragnar's penalty really helped him out in the end. Secure that P2 for Subaru Ryan. Kevin Jacobs takes P4 from 11th. Great drive by him. Chalaga, respectable drive from P12 to P7. And Danny, Nemesis, Galactic Skull 2 and Aniltanovic, all DNF here in Spa. But that's been round number 13, ladies and gentlemen. That has been the final race of 2019 for the NORL F1 series. We'll see you again in 2019 for round number 14, which will be the Italian Grand Prix. Thank you so much for watching. I hope from everyone here at Gaming Now and NORL, have a brilliant Christmas and have a happy new year. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next year. Until then.